Okay, any other comments from the public? Yes, sir.
How are you doing? My name is Russell Moore. I'd like to thank the members of the committee, especially Mayors Policina, Mayors Tavares, and Mayors Fung for their leadership, because we're clearly not getting it from everywhere in this state. Just to give you an example, there's this myth out there that the Warwick pension plan is in some type of great shape. But when you look at the numbers and you take the actual reports, the facts do not bear that out. Just one example, just this sheet alone. It says Warwick, Police 1 and Fire 1. Question, in compliance with GASB standards. It says yes on the sheet. That's clearly not the case, as Mr. Hoyle could clearly point out that the plan is funded over a 40-year period. GASB standards say that you should only fund the plan over 30 years at most. Governor Chafee, when he was mayor of Warwick, he financed it over 40 years. That plan I'm talking about is by far the largest plan in Warwick, and it's only funded at 27%, and that's based on an 8% expected return on the investment in mortality tables from 1983. So I just wanted to let you know that this myth that Warwick is in some kind of great shape, and that's what we got to emulate. If we emulate that, we're going to be bankrupt. I just wanted to bring that to the committee's attention. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Roger Durand. I have spoken with a few of you people. I know the mayor sees me at all these meetings starting at CCRI about 6 months ago. I'm just a concerned citizen in the city of Warwick. That's where I live. Just to give you a little history, I saw this problem with reference to pensions and health care 8 years ago. That's when I started attending city council meetings in the city of Warwick. There was an article in Business Week talking about legacy cost. So we have notified Mayor Avedisian as of 8 years ago there was a tremendous problem confronting the city of Warwick. Unfortunately, nothing was done. Now, having said that, I've attended this meeting and the last meeting. I look at the two mayors up there, three mayors. I don't envy you. We have a philosophical discussion going on today, how we're going to solve the problem. You guys are sitting on a deck of the Titanic and you've already hit the iceberg. And we have a bunch of people sitting around saying we're going to plan the next ship in 10 years. That's not going to help you at all. Now, I want to thank Mayor Fung. He's taken a leadership role on this for months. We bumped into each other on an elevator at CCRI when Ernie Almonte and Gina Raimondo. And he's over there with his chief of staff and everybody else trying to come to a solution. If all the mayors adapted his approach, we wouldn't be in this position. Now, let's just talk, and I could go on for hours about our pensions and health care. But let me just suggest one thing. Our unfunded pensions and health care are approximately, in the city of Warwick, $600 million. Let me repeat that. In Warwick, unfunded. Now, the reason I say that, we're using, again, 8% returns, mortality tables since 1982 for our pension programs. But we're close to $600 million. Our OPEP liability is over $300 million. Now, I happened to attend the meeting the Jefferson Solution gave to the city of Warwick in April, talking about the health care obligations. Now, this is what I don't understand. I don't purport to be a mathematician, but I am a concerned taxpayer who's tired of my taxes going up every year. Fed up. Maximum tax increase, car tax increases. So let's just talk about the math here for a second. I see we have a representative from the General Treasurer who I've spoken to a few times on the phone. I don't know if he remembers me from a couple months ago. But I have a problem with the math here. Under state law in the city of Warwick, with a maximum tax increase, we can raise $8 million a year. That's maximum tax increase, which we get every year. I was at that meeting for OPEP in April. He said this year, in this year's budgets, it's just ending, the city of Warwick should have put $20 million aside. Excuse me? $20 million aside, and our maximum tax increase is $8 million? That's just for health care? By the way, it's on the City of Warwick website if you want to listen to it. It was in April of last year. So you can go back and check all the figures. Where's this money coming from? Now, I can tell you how we got in the mess briefly. Mayor Avedisian signed a contract with the firemen 6 years ago to give lifetime health care. I went up to the microphone and said, Mr. Mayor, let me see the actuarial report. He didn't do one. He didn't do one. And he negotiated the contract by himself. He didn't even have his personnel director or the city finance director. So now, as a taxpayer, I should be responsible for that? I don't think so. I really don't think so. So again, I don't want to take much of your time. But the reality of the situation is you have a daunting task in front of all of you. Because you're not going to make anyone happy at the end of the day. You're certainly not going to make organized labor because they think they have an entitlement program to all these. And you're certainly not going to make the taxpayers happy because we're fed up. But again, let me ask a quick question. Maybe somebody can answer it for, because I've heard a little philosophy today I want to hear. I want to hear real numbers. Mayor Tavares, don't you? You want to hear real issues that you're confronting. By the way, my hat off to you. You've done a heck of a job in Providence considering what you were left with. How do you pay, at the end of the day, when you come out with your report, are you going to mandate the cities with the actuarial tables, the actuarial reports we get from on OPEP? Are you going to go back to the mayors like Avedisian and said you're going to have to fund what they're telling you? Well, tell me how we're going to come up with $20 million when our maximum tax increase is only 8. And by the way, I talked to the mayor about this 6 years ago. I went up and complained about what he gave away lifetime health care. We now, in the city of Warwick, pay $8 million for retiree health care. By the way, I'm only talking municipal workers, police, and fire. I'm not even talking school department. With no co-pays. 0. The mayor also put a cap on prescription drugs a few years ago with that fire contract. It now costs the city over $1 million a year. Families only pay $600 a year. And you're looking to me as a taxpayer to fund this? When I retire, I don't get those benefits. So my question again, can somebody ask me the question, when you write your report, are you going to mandate that the mayors and the city managers are going to have to meet the requirements from OPEP that the actuarials tell them in a budget? Yes or no? Because Warwick can't do it. By the way, we have no money for street repair anymore. It's gone. Libraries, they want to cut hours back. The only way we get road repairs is we get a sewer put in front of our house. So again, these are the issues. And I see the mayors are listening to me because they know what the problems are. And I don't envy you guys. I really don't. Mayor Fung's been talking about this at the meetings I attend. Minimum manning for firemen. Mayor, you mentioned it. It's got to be addressed. So again, thank you very much for your time. I'm not even going to put anybody on the spot in answering that question. But we all know that tough decisions have to be made today. I don't want to hear about a report in November that will be implemented 2 years from now, and I got maximum tax increase, and now instead of $20 million, the actuarial is going to turn around and say we should be $30 million into it. We haven't even gotten into the pension plans. 27% for police and fire, $220 million underfunded. And I've listened to Mayor Avedisian's testimony up here when he will tell you the other programs are in good shape. No, they're not. They're probably less than 70%. So anyhow, thank you very much for your time. I hope I've at least enlightened you with reference to what the taxpayers are thinking. We need solutions today. We don't need them tomorrow. We don't need them a year from now. We have to give the mayors who want to make a difference the tools to do it today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Durand. Any other comments from the public? Jim?
Very good speech by Mr. Durand. This is going to be my first